Hi, this is Vivian, and with my chicken update, May 5th, Thursday. This has been not well thought out. I originally planned on these panels that's on top to be the sides. They're approximately 3 feet by 4 feet, but when I put them next to the to that end, I didn't factor in that little overhang of the roof on the lower side, so those wouldn't work. And then I realized it was going to be a little too small because I wanted it to go the full length here. I've had a lot going on, so that's why I just had a really flaky airhead moment. And then I thought, well, I can reuse these panels to make, because I made 3 of these panels and then 2 for the top. And then I thought, oh, okay, so I had to rig this side up. They've gotten so big. This coop is supposed to be good for 4 standard size chickens. That's totally incorrect. 4 bantams maybe, not 4 standard size ones. And I had the 6 black Australorps, probably saying that wrong. And I'm glad I bought them because the lady I bought them for had a hard time getting in more chicks. And then grandson got that white Cornish cross. I'm hoping it's a rooster, but it has always had a messy back end. But they were getting very, very cramped and crowded. I don't need to have the heat lamp on them, and I'm making some more feeders. I'll show you the feeders in just a little bit, and I'm gonna put one in here and maybe put a tarp on part of it to keep it from getting wet, but giving them a little bit more water and a little bit more room where they're not literally on top of each other all the time. I need to also clean out the inside and put some sawdust down over there. And I was thinking about moving the little silky chicks over here, but I've got the stuff to build another coop. Let me they're starting to feather out. I keep putting sawdust in here and they keep kicking it out. Got them some feeders, and they're still so scared, but we hadn't lost any. Trying to get all this stuff done, and other things keep coming up. Alright, this is the new feeder. I played around with something I saw on Pinterest where they used basically a serving tray, one of those slotted ones. I'll try to post a picture of it. And it just didn't work well. I didn't like it. So I drilled some holes and then cut it out with tin snips around the bottom sides. And that's a Dollar Tree oil pan. Don't bother with those. The plastics are very brittle and they will break down. So I'm going to replace that with hopefully a metal or rubber feed thing. And I'm going to make another one, but every other day I had to reload their the juice bottles that I was using for feeders. So they would go through those in about 2 days. This will give me about a week, so all I don't have to do is mess with their, fill up their water and check, get their eggs. Normally when I'm out here I have something, so she's like, where is it? And he's a good dude. He's going to stay in here, and I'll put the silkies over here. This will be the silky coop. Wonderful husband cleared this area and tried to level it some, so I've got a metal 10 by 8 shed. We have it. I just need to put it together, and I still need to decide if I want the door to face this way or to come in from that way. And if I make it this way, then I can do a 10 by 20, maybe longer that way, and this will be where I'm going to keep the layers. I'm going to put a dividing wall in the 10 by 8 shed, so the back part will be the inside enclosure for the chickens, and where I can also get the eggs, and I can store the feed, because right now I have the feed just kind of under there. And I have to say, I like Gamma lids, and now they've got a cheaper knockoff that's also available, but they are not waterproof. They have kept the ants out, but water will, if it rains enough to where the lid is covered in water, the Gamma lid seal, unless you have it very, very, very tight where I can't loosen it by myself later, it will leak. It will just slowly leak, and chicken feed molds so fast. It just, within a couple of days you open it and then there it is, a bunch of mold, and you have to throw that part away. So these lids are much cheaper. They're gasketed. Make sure that they do have a gasket. If you don't have fire ants and don't have problems with bugs, then that may not be an issue, and you can use a metal trash can. But we've used metal trash cans, and fire ants just crawl right into those. I've done all sorts of things with having them sit in a pool of water, putting Vaseline. My daughter used to get Vaseline in her hair from doing that because she had such long hair and it would just blow into it if she leaned down. So these lids, this is less than $2, and it doesn't take long to open it, and it's well worth it. I can't pry it with my fingers. That's just too. I just can't. It's just not going to work. These, Dollar Tree, and then I added the hook so I can just hang it up. So I can put them back down. But I'm going to make another one of those, and you have to they're on the bricks, because if I leave them at that ground level like that one is, when they scratch around it, they put all that manure and the hay and everything back up into the food. So having them on that little bit of rise is just the right level for them to peck into and not get it so dirty so fast. I still hadn't done the roof because I still got to take apart the old coop. Let's see, anything else? Hopefully I can start on the shed this weekend, if not sooner. It's a lot of stuff going on, family issues, some health problems with a family member, and I'm having to drive across town. And hopefully I can get her today, and she'll be discharged, and I can bring her over here and force her to watch me do things, because she won't be able to do much of anything. But we're still getting on average 8 eggs a day, which is way too much for us. I've been pickling them, and that's been really good. It's been a simple brine, and it's been very popular, and it puts the eggs out of the cartons. We're now back up to, I probably have got another 4 dozen eggs in my refrigerator. I'm going to give some away to some family members. Hey, Goldie. She lays our lightest colored brown eggs. Even though she's got all the signs of Americana, she's doesn't lay a green or blue egg. See? And I think that black hen is one that lays us a green egg. And that one has got the ear tufts. But that's the latest with the chickens, building that new addition. Thought you might like to see. It's like I get some more of these dish pans for the new chicken coop. And I'm using I used up more lumber than I intended to for the add-on. I still got a lot of clearing away and organizing this area. This is driving me nuts. But when you have a hodgepodge of stuff that was given and stuff that you bought, and then I thought that was 36 inches, it's not. So then I had to bring that up here, and that's 24 inches, and that's 36, and that's something in between, and that's really rabbit wiring. But I decided for the 2-foot thing, instead of cutting the 2-foot thing, the hardware cloth, the 1/2-inch hardware cloth. Yeah, see, they're supposed to be friendly, and I'm out here all the time, but see, they get away from me. If I go to the other side, they'll come out. But using just this as regular fencing since they can't get through it. Those little silky chicks may be able to squeeze through those 2 by 3, I think, holes. But I thought this will work out fine for this. That part is going to come down and get reused somewhere else eventually. I don't want this coop in this area forever and ever. This is just a setup for now. I do want to get this eventually up there where the other coops will be, so that they're all in a general location, and we'll run a water line up there so I don't have to carry buckets of water to the chickens, because that's going to be something, especially when we start hitting the hot months. This is already May. I can't believe how fast this year is going. But this is the chicken update. Oh, I left this one. This one is screwed. You know, it's in place. It's not moving. This one I can move, so I can, if I needed to close them back up into that smaller area. I want to get the food bucket in here like I've got set up in the big coop, because they go through their feed pretty fast. And for the price of the, let's see, a bucket with the regular lid is still under $5 together. And then whatever the cost of the pan, and I've got plenty of bricks, like see down there, that I can use to raise it up off from the ground level. Probably wouldn't be that big of an issue for these right here, because we're not putting hay in here right now. But as they get bigger, that will help. You see those? Got feed in those. And I have to pretty much daily come out here and refresh their water and make sure that their feed is topped off. And fortunately, we've been very, very, very blessed not to lose any chicks here, except for the ones to predators last year. Since we've moved over here, we've gotten those 7 that's in here and the 7 silkies, and they all seem to be doing well. They're healthy. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I closed off the nesting boxes. Ooh. Used one of those produce things. I closed it off. I didn't want them in this section. That's something with chicken management. If you get new chicks, you don't let them sleep in the nesting boxes, because later when they start laying, they'll continue to sleep in the nesting boxes, and they poop where they sleep. So if they're not perched up, they're going to poop right there, and then they're going to get it on themselves and the eggs. And it's so nice having to not have to wash eggs before cracking them open. It's not good to, if you're going to store your eggs and you're not going to eat them right away. If I was going to cook them a big batch, and I'll wash a whole bunch at once for the boiled eggs and pickled eggs and stuff. But if you're going to put it in the fridge and you don't know when you're going to eat that egg, it's not the safest thing to wash. You remove the bloom, the protective coating, that even though there is poop on the egg, it's not going to penetrate through that. I mean, you can brush it off with like a toothbrush that you're not using, of course, for your teeth. And you can just wipe off the worst of it. But to put water, I think there is something you can buy that you can wash eggs with that's going to still keep it protected, but I don't have that. And I figure, what's the point of having something else to deal with when I can just wash it right before I use them? So that keeps them from getting the habit of sleeping in a nesting box, which all of our chickens that we have that are laying roost up on the 2x4s I've got set up for them. And they're pretty cramped there, because there's 12 full-grown, 11 standard and 1 bantam, the rooster. So eventually this will come apart again and be moved up there. I like having this raised up, that's so I can get to the door. Before we moved here, this was on ground level, and I had to, you had to squat, and it was a pain to get in and out of and do things. See, this Cornish cross is getting, If you don't know about this breed, this is the meat chicken. This is what normally when you go to the store and you buy any sort of chicken, this is the breed. And they get so breast heavy that by the 4th or 5th month, they literally cannot stand. Their legs can't support the weight. They're meant to be caged and never running free like this one is. And as you saw earlier, it was just sitting there at the food and water, literally. I've got this set up for that chick in particular because it will just lay there and eat and then, you know, move over a little bit and drink the water and then move back to the food and be there most of the time. It's right at one of the feeders. They'll figure out that that's open on the other end. But we got gifted several of those years back and we had no idea. We didn't know what breed it was. It was another classroom hatching experiment, and once the chicks got hatched and they did their little things, they needed to find a home for it. And one of the students knew about us and offered him to us, and we took him. We even had one break a leg. My husband helped that leg heal, put a splint on it, and it healed, and the chick was walking until about the 5th month. And they were all scooting. It's like, what's going on? These birds weren't standing. They were pushing themselves along, and they literally rubbed the feathers off their belly. And we had to go ahead and harvest all of them because it was just the way we had that set up over there. They had to go from the way in the back of the property up to the front to get food and water, and it was not a pleasant experience. And I weighed the breasts. Every breast was over 22 ounces. 22 ounces was the smallest. That's just one side, not the front. So we're talking almost 3 pounds of just breast meat on a bird that's meant to be 4 or 5 pounds tops total. So that was, I mean, the meat's great, but if you get these, you have to be prepared to harvest them before they reach that point that they're rubbing the feathers off their bellies. The other thing is, if this is a rooster and if he's able to walk, I wouldn't mind having him breed with our layers and maybe make a little bit better of a meat laying cross. I'd be fine with that, but we'll just see. It could be a hen. I hate seeing their rears like that. And I really shouldn't have stuck him in there, stuck it. My grandson named it Gary. We have no idea if it is a male or not, but I shouldn't have stuck it in there with the other ones. That's not good management, but I did, and I took the chance, and because I didn't have any, I couldn't put it with the silkies. I need to attach that right there on the side. Just put another screw over there. But I feel good. This has weighed on me because I knew they were so crowded in here, and that's no better than a factory setting for these birds. So that was really, really bugging me. And with everything else going on, I had to do this. So that's my chicken update. If you have any questions, if I don't know the answers, I'm sure I know someone who does. I belong to a chicken group now on top of everything else. And there's some very, very knowledgeable people that's been doing it for generations, that just continue doing what mom and dad and grandma and grandpa did. And then there's some people that are like seriously big time, new to the chicken industry, actually selling birds across state lines and all the legalities that's involved with that. And I'm just amazed at the laws and regulations concerning some of that stuff too. But I thought I'd just share what bit I know. Thanks for watching.